What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video. Joining me here for my wide grip bench workout. And we're on that other bench, which I don't really like. Too slippery and slidey. So you can see the band down the middle. Just for some form of tension. And just working up here. Trying to get my groove. Whenever I'm on this bench, it doesn't have the same feedback as the fat pad. So you kind of sink into it almost like a couch. So does require a little bit more of placement. And also, I'm starting to notice now, I actually prefer when I'm benching to walk my feet further under me, and you can't with that bar there. So like little things like this are starting to drive me nuts because I would have to come full forward and walk my feet past that thing, which is kind of annoying. I'm used to benching like in a rack and then wheeling up a bench, not like a standalone bench press thing. So yeah, I don't know. 285 again. And again, we're still having that issue with the shoulder, so you can see the momentum and speed die. So I cut back, which is very strange, because once I did the rep, things were moving well. And I ended up hitting 275 for 4, so I was very confused. Part of me is I didn't want to drop from that, take the 25 off, so I took the 5 off, and then it moved, and I'm like, okay, I'll just stay here. Which is insane, because if you think about your rep rack stuff, if you can do 275 by 4, I should have definitely been able to hit the 285 for, I don't know if it was like a triple or double, but the way that that first rep move was just a concern for me, so I just kind of moved on from it, which kind of drove me nuts, but it is what it is. In the long run, weight is arbitrary when it's, you know, this close to each other, like a 10-pound difference in weight, though, you'll recover that further on. It's fine, but in my head, I like to be doing more and more and more, and I'd rather move more weight than less weight, but sometimes you got to check your ego. But incline bench here, and again, like with the impingement, this is fine. So I think it's just a structural thing. I think I stretched too far where my body wasn't used to, and now I'm paying the price for it. But everything else can move. Bench will probably take an L for a little bit. We'll kind of hover around. I'll try to hit like heaviest singles and then do back off stuff, just so I'm not taking too much time away from that. But again, like we're doing other stuff to keep the joint nice and healthy. Range of motion. You know, the bench is like maybe 1/9, 1/10 of the entire workout with the barbell. And you can see the workouts, like I said, at the end of every other video. You can take a look at what I'm doing. There's a lot going on. I mean, we're hitting everything. We're not just doing heavy bench press. We're doing high rep stuff when it comes to dumbbell overhead press with the barbell. We're doing chest compression things like flies, pec deck, reverse pec deck, lateral raises. There's a whole lot going on. Tricep extensions overhead. We're working everything through every range of motion that we can do. So if there's some impingement, that's fine. We'll figure it out. But it's just annoying. Things were going in the right direction and weight was moving. And I was finally excited to be progressing my bench press, because after the surgery, I had to rebuild myself back up from the bar to where I'm at now, though, which is basically where I was before, which is fine. Well, like I mentioned before, like the overhead press, like you would think if there was a shoulder related impingement or something, it would be evident on the overhead press, but it's not. It's only the bench. So definitely something to do with the method in which I bench press. So maybe retracting the scapula back, it like exposes some sort of connection between the deltoid and shoulder and pec, you know, that just may be sensitive or stretched beyond where it was. But I'm good on everything else. So anytime I feel any sort of discomfort there, I cut things and I cut back. I'm not pushing through anymore. I don't want to get permanently injured. So it is what it is. SSB here again. And we're back in the other rack. Mess around with some angles. Sometimes there's other people working out. So I'm trying to be respectful of their workout. But I do like to film all my stuff. Make sure I'm doing whatever I need to do. And, you know, not forcing myself. I will squat. I hate squatting. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But I will do it to get to deadlifts because I enjoy deadlifting, and I am adamant to get my deadlift back up into the mid-5s, close to 6. You know, I felt like my deadlift was always going to be the lift that would take me somewhere, and then I've really never struggled with it until the injury. So now it's just like not relearning, but becoming more efficient with my mechanics. I got to figure out what exactly it is I need to do, and that's what all these videos are. Every time I'm narrating and filming, I'm taking a look at my form and trying to notice little nuances, and I will call them out. So on here, something is my upper back. I think I need to start manipulating how I'm holding the handles. There's a way to get my lats tight that's not conventional for most people, and I think that's why for the longest amount of time I was having issues with that with squatting. Most people will kind of pull the shoulder blades together and lock the lats. My body doesn't like that. There's another method I use to get to the depth I want to get to, and I think I'm going to have to just iron that out a little bit more. I've been messing around in the gym doing stuff, and it's been feeling better. But it's something I do want to deal with and something I do want to fix because I've got so much power on squats. I should be squatting so much more. I've got this big back and a lot of power out of the hole. It's super inefficient whenever I'm just unable to kind of meet those expectations that I have for myself. So I want to break through that barrier, but I think a lot of it is going to be me taking the time to do it. But, at least we can maintain this standard, and that's fine. That's the whole point of training is we're working around our inadequacies, we're working around our weaknesses and trying to strengthen our strengths. So it's kind of a balancing act there. Sumo deadlift here. So, yeah, like there are some issues. Again, it could be the pants too, though. I prefer pulling without any sort of garment against the bar. I just don't like the extra friction, but I am being more strict with my numbers, so I am actually following my program a little bit more. When it tells me to pull the 460, even though I know I can do more, I'm staying there because I'm following the path. And you can pick up the intensity somewhere else, like your bodybuilding stuff. You can progress those, do more weight on those. It just really depends on your recovery. I think that's what a lot of people forget is, most of us are posting the highlights, the heaviest lifts we're doing, but you're not seeing the bodybuilding stuff with the rep work. I've got no problem with wet work. I just prefer to do it on the isolation and machines because better pump that way. Like here, the leg press. So the last time you saw it, we were at like 360, and I just kept throwing plates on. We're already making progress. So trying to slow these down. When I lift, it's just I'm so used to just exploding and using power. Obviously with good technique and everything too, though. But to really slow stuff down, especially when you realize, I've only got so much real estate. You can kind of see, like, my legs are so long, they will hit my chest, like, not that far away from where the position starts, and there's nothing I can do about that. That's just how I'm built. I've been trying to find a leg press, so, like, the vertical leg press was fun, but there's a limitation to how much weight you can have on there. So you can see here, like, my knees just run into my chest, and there's nowhere else for me to go, so it's a mobility thing. That's why I'm doing all these workouts together, all these squats, deadlifts, accessories, leg press to well round myself and kind of round everything else out, so it's not as not as locked into the range of motion that I'm in. But I don't know what else to do. Like, how you're built's how you're built. You just have to work around all that type of stuff or find a machine that works for you. And so it is what it is. You just gotta work all those things together, and hopefully the whole painting comes together once you're pretty substantial into your journey or whatever. So we shall see. The lower legs with the small calves will always be the bane of my existence, but we're always going to move weight, so it is what it is. But anyway, that's the video. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.